Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, November 7th, 2020. Time doesn't mean anything right now. It's November 7th, 2020. My name is Karen Bodenschatz. I serve as pastor at First Lutheran Church in Onalaska, Wisconsin. This is our morning musing. And I would be remiss if I did not mention, for the sake of history, should anyone ponder or come across this in 50, 100 years, that it is 4 days after our presidential election, and we still do not know who our next president is going to be. And we have a sense, perhaps, but not all the votes have been counted yet. And I've been thinking about that, how, we're really good as people and as humans and as societies to kind of plan for contingencies, to think about how our systems are going to work in a variety of different cases. But it appears, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, that really none of us imagined a life or a time in our life together where gathering together was not wise. For the church even, we've thought and reimagined and thought about and remade ourselves in all sorts of different ways. There are really smart people who think about ways that we could be church together, but none of them ever imagined that we couldn't gather as church. And our voting system is the same. Nobody imagined that we would not be able to go to the polls. And that so many people, because of that, for whatever reasons, it wasn't wise for them to go to the polls on voting day, that they would either choose to do absentee ballot, as my household chose, or to go early. And that it would be a year where a record number of people would vote, which, thank you if you voted. Thank you so much. It is our most sacred duty as citizens of this country to vote and to have our voice be heard. So it means, all of that means, the rules that we have in place around our voting to keep that voting fair and transparent means that we are still counting votes. And so here we are, 4 days after the election, with really most outlets not being comfortable declaring a winner yet. And of course, we will probably have, it will be a little bit while yet before we officially know, given how close this race appears to be. So that's my do it for history conversation. Yesterday, I had the privilege of presiding at the funeral of Vernal Quall. And again, because of the pandemic, it was simply a graveside. It was a souped up graveside, so to speak, where we did the funeral and what we would normally do at the graveside all in one at the graveside. And I got there early because I wanted to make sure I knew where I was and that I was there before the family. And I was walking around Onalaska Cemetery, and I haven't done that in a while. And two things struck me. The first was, I know a lot of the names. They're not all members of our congregation. Some of them are just names that we know in the community. But there were quite a few that I could say, oh, I remember standing at this graveside with the family as we said goodbye to their beloved one. And I couldn't help but have some of the songs that we sung on Tuesday be rolling through my head as I was both walking the cemetery and just being amazed that it's been 9 years that I've been serving at First, and how many people I knew in this cemetery, how many people I loved, and whose families I love. And I'm so thrilled to be able to serve, but also having those songs of hope and strength as we make our way through this presidential election that we sung on Tuesday that remind us of who God is. And I couldn't help but wonder what these dear ones would make of this last year. And of course, then that had me thinking about what my grandparents would think about this and what they would say to me today. I think they would remind me, first and foremost, to continue to trust God. They were all very faithful people. My grandma Bodenschatz, she would, in her own way, just keep telling me to do what I do, to not worry so much about others. And my grandma Brown, who was the most courageous woman in terms of following where God led, would also tell me the same thing. But they would all remind me, both my grandfathers fought in the war, my grandmothers lived through wars. They would say, Karen, trust this country in this process, which I forget sometimes. It's hard sometimes to trust some people that you so completely disagree with. But there is a reason that we have for so long been kind of Ronald Reagan said, like a bright city on a hill. And they would remind me of that. That we need to keep going as people in this country, and especially as people of God, to trust God and to trust one another, to be what we can and should be. So I was really thankful for that moment to be among the saints of our community and to have a chance to reflect on all that means. Our readings for tomorrow, I'll link them below, but the Amos reading is thought-provoking. And I've now talked to you for 7 minutes, so I won't talk about it too much, but I encourage you to read that. And Pastor Stanton will be talking to us about the parable of the bridesmaids tomorrow, or Saturday. No, that's tomorrow. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow. Again, time has no meaning. Friends, these are trying times. These are sometimes chaotic times, but through it all, we know that our God is with us and that we together walk this way. So let us do it with integrity and with hope and with trust in our God and in each other. Until I see you again, be well, be kind, for Christ is with you.